What's up? Welcome to SHL Tonight. I'm your host, Ace, and that is an empty chair with Hip's beautiful blanket. Oh, no, Hip's here. Hip, how are you?
We made it. Not too bad, just excited for expansion coming up. Yourself?
Living the dream. Less than a week away now from the SHL expansion draft. So as you know, Hip and I are both expansion GMs, so we're very excited for that. Ready to get going and finally actually have a team. But before we get started and talk about our topics that we have today, really appreciate everybody from tuning in already. We've got some great people in the chat. Alaris.
Yeah, get some happy
Chris.
Memorial Day going.
Yeah. The unofficial start to summer is here. We went out and we had a wonderful day. Me and my family did today. Did a nice long walk and had some burgers and did all the quintessential Memorial Day things. And obviously, I'd be remiss if I didn't say, obviously, we respect and cherish and really appreciate those that gave the ultimate sacrifice to allow us to live the way that we do. And we honor those. I grew up in a military family, so very cognizant of the premise and the reason why we recognize this holiday. So now I'm going to step off my soapbox here, and we're going to get back to business. We're going to talk some SHL. So, Kate, incorrect.
Listen, you gotta give them a little slack because they're in Australia, and Australia doesn't have the real internet. They have fake internet that can only do
upside down internet. Okay,
yeah,
makes sense. Yes. So it's not Veterans Day. Keep that in mind, O1. We're recognizing the people that have passed away, not just veterans.
Paid the ultimate price.
I will tell you, I know many veterans that get annoyed when you say that on Memorial Day because they don't want to be recognized on this holiday. So once again, stepping off my soapbox, very excited to talk. I know it's been a little while since we've been live, so we're going to talk about the current status of the SHL playoffs. We've got some wonderful questions that were put into our question thread. And then, as always, if you guys have any other questions that you want to go ahead and provide in the chat, by all means, throw them in there. And if they are not a Patrick question, we'll go ahead and put it on the screen and talk about it.
Speaking of Patrick, though, I do want to give a shout out to him. He was named the Kelowna Knights GM today. I tried to let him know as Finn let me know I got the expansion GM. I said, I'm just sorry to do this on a Monday and let you know, but unfortunately, you're going to be the Kelowna GM. He's all excited. He's in contact with the team now, and should be a really great fit. Patrick's a great guy, and it will make a great JGM for sure.
I 100% agree. I mean, I was fortunate enough that he asked me to write a quick letter of recommendation. I was happy to do that. And I mostly am happy that when I sim J games, I don't have to hear him ask for Anchorage live sims anymore, which is wonderful. Very, very excited.
That'll be Kelowna live sims, though.
Unbelievable.
Which,
at least as an alum of the Knights.
Which J team did you get your start with?
My first ever J team was the Kelowna Knights.
And which J team did I get my start with?
Was it the Kelowna Knights?
It was the Kelowna Knights.
Wow. Now we know why you applied for the job. You just wanted to go.
So being a JHO, I will let you know that the theory that have podcast equals GM job is just alive and well at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it works, right? So that's it, guys. If you want to ever get a GM job, join us on the SHL Tonight or SHL Tonight crew. Or if you have another podcast idea, slide into my DMs and we can talk turkey. We can maybe get a GM job eventually.
IHF tonight, you never know.
We need that World WJC tonight. We have new hosts every season.
Rookie tournament tonight. There's so many options.
There's the options and possibilities are infinite. So, one says his first J team was the Detroit Falcons. Yeah, well, why not the Lethbridge Lions? Okay, why not the Lions?
Why not the Regina Force?
The Regina Farce is what I called them back in the day. Oh boy, yes, congrats, Pat. Very happy for you. I picked Chicago to win it all because I'm a homer. Edmonton in Manhattan ruined my bracket.
Edmonton's still ruining brackets. 1 in 1 day. We'll get to that though.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about it. All right, so let's jump over there and chat a little bit about the current state of the SHL. We don't have power rankings because there's not a lot of power rankings to talk about.
No, we just got standings. The good old-fashioned power rankings before all the analytic nerds took over.
Absolutely. So we now have the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference final. So currently in the West, we have a 1-1 deadlock tie in the series between the Seattle Argonauts and the Edmonton.
Oh, we talked about round 2 yet either, so we can get to round 2 first.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Too crazy in the West. Too crazy 7-game series that had Seattle taking down the Specters. The Specters were not able to channel that spooky goodness to get it done yet again, and they fell to the Argos. And then in the other side of things for Calgary and Edmonton, the Blizzard took down the Dragons in the Battle of Alberta. I confess, when Winnipeg got eliminated, I stopped paying a ton of attention. So tell me more about these two series if you have any additional insights.
Yeah, so the Seattle-New Orleans series, New Orleans is a strong team. They've got a lot of really great veterans, some great chemistry built in that roster. Seattle's one of the up-and-coming really strong teams in the West.
Agreed.
Them and Calgary were probably the peak of the West this season. Very high TP. I believe they were like second or third in total TPE. So just an absolute juggernaut in terms of total points earned. They've got a great crew up in there. Very tight series, but they managed to pull out the win there. Edmonton, they were down 3-1 in the series, won 3 straight. Just an upset, a little FHM shenanigans, a little bit of coaching voodoo, a little bit of just in time, and a little what have you. But they come out ahead here. Reminds me when I was GMing Edmonton and SFP upset us in round 1 or 2 when they had like nothing and we were in our peak era. We won a cup the season after, so always good to stick with it and keep the crew together and see what comes. But yeah, just sometimes you get the short end of the stick, and that's what happened to Calgary. But props to Edmonton for what they accomplished there.
Yep, that's the Obama medal image right there. Props to Edmonton as the guy is on Edmonton, puts the medal on himself. And then in the East, we have the New England Montreal matchup in the second round, which is always a fun one.
Montreal wanted to make you look dumb, so they only won 1 game.
Yeah, yep, the classic.
Thanks for that, Campen.
Would have, yeah. I mean, I think we both had Montreal winning that series.
I had them going all the way. They were my pick for the cup.
Oh, that's funny. We shouldn't have done that. Atlanta, I think, was my pick for the cup this season. I believe
they looked very strong.
They dismantled Manhattan Rage, who honestly I think Manhattan did a good job by knocking out the Barracuda in the first round. Which
Manhattan was overmatched in this one. The fact that they made it here was a W in itself.
For sure, and they were able to get one off of the Inferno, but unfortunately just wasn't able to be enough. And now in the Eastern Conference Final, we have the Inferno and the New England Wolfpack, and Atlanta's up to a 2-0 series start. So from what's remaining, obviously, I think it's a safe bet to say, and I mean, this is probably being dismissive to Luke because I've seen him come back from far worse situations than 2-0. But I think it's probably safe to say Atlanta's going to probably punch their ticket to the final at this point. The odds are at least in their favor. I'll say that. Statistically, that's not something that you can argue.
I feel like last time we said this about New England specifically, like last playoffs, they came back and won after we dismissed them in round 1.
I mean, yeah. I mean, and then Luke couldn't even come back to his computer and make line changes, and they still came back and beat Montreal without any tactic adjustments. So that was hilarious. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible. But I mean, my money's on Atlanta returning to the Challenge Cup final, and I'm really fascinated with this Seattle Edmonton series.
I think Seattle, like yes, you beat Calgary in a very similar situation, but the TP difference is about 400 average TP. Not average, sorry, 400 total TP. Seattle has at Edmonton. It's a pretty big deficit to beat. You're relying on coaching, chemistry, and line composition being that much better. It's a bit of a far reach, especially because you did just come off a massive upset. I think Seattle's probably got this one, but you can't count out Edmonton after what they're doing this year, right?
Seattle's the higher seeded team, correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So
they went 1-1 at home.
Taking a split on the road for Edmonton. That's not bad.
I will say this game today. So one player, I won't name any names, put up 4 points. First star in the victory today for Edmonton.
Oh yeah,
probably
who was that?
Pretty good player. Oliver Atlason. You might have heard of him.
Oh yeah, they're not even going to be able to keep that guy.
Excellent user. No, they're not. He's going for his final run here before moving on.
Yeah, I heard he's bad for the room, and that's why they exposed him in the expansion.
Very toxic user. Very toxic.
You sound like Trump.
Very toxic.
Believe me,
Best points.
worst
20 speed.
worst
He's
guy
the
in the
fastest player
room.
in the league.
It's gonna be awful, believe me. But he scored a lot of points. First star of the game. I love Tesla. Yeah, so that'll be fun. I think I definitely am going to lean Seattle still. He's going to probably get it done. Say he. The Argos are probably going to punch their ticket. It would be really
The
kind of
iBoats.
fascinating. Yeah, the boat team bad is something that I subscribe to personally. You wouldn't see a terrible player like him. Very bad, not goodly.
So I will say, in the West, you have at least one expansion GM or co-GM in each team, but in the East, you have none of that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Although
Random
technically,
drinks to
you
note.
could call Hot Dog an expansion GM, a former expansion.
Sure, you could call them all expansion GMs to some degree, right?
No, Luke wasn't there when New England was, Hartford / Tampa Bay Hydro.
Sure, but New England is an expansion team at some point, and he now
Sure,
GMs them, which means he's
sure.
an expansion GM.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. So anyway, yeah, that's my pick for the final. I'm gonna have Seattle and Atlanta, and I've got Atlanta getting it done in 6. What about you?
Yeah, I think Atlanta gets it done in, I'm going to say 5, just to give Luke some energy as I count him out. And Seattle, I think it's going to go 7, but I think Seattle comes out ahead.
You have no idea, Owen. Yeah. So that's my pick for the playoffs.
He actually declared bankruptcy, and that's how he started getting the impression down.
I declare bankruptcy.
That's how it works. You just say it.
You got to declare it. Additionally, we're seeing a lot of movement going on right now in the transactions. And I think that has something to do with maybe a little bit of expansion that's coming up here.
Possibly.
So if you didn't know, essentially, if your players are a free agent, they are not allowed to return to your team if they're not signed for next season. So in order to try to circumvent circumvention, in order to try to prevent that, that's going to be a rule. So we're seeing a ton of movement going on right now with extensions around the league. So it'll be kind of fascinating to see if maybe one of those GMs out there maybe has their head underneath the sand and accidentally lets half their roster on their 1-year deals expire and they're not able to return. Oh, what do we got in the chat? What do we got? What do we got? What do we got?
You got a trade offer. I didn't get a trade offer. What the hell is this?
8th round picks? Wow, sure, done. Just kidding. I'm not doing that. If we did that, honestly, I think head office would be pissed if we posted that trade. Like that would just.
Well, they would. They just tell you to fuck off, but they'd process it.
Well, they don't even have those picks on the pick tracker.
Doesn't matter.
They'll just write process, and then I'll actually go to try to make a pick, and then it won't show up there, and then HO will get fined again. That'd be humorous.
And you'll double trade the pick.
Triple trade, why not? I've done it before. Season 82 rookie class analysis and media. Interesting. It's not formatted for dark mode. Not reading that.
No, it's mostly just about points for the SA2 class so far in their time of the J.
Okay. Did you know that I have the second greatest defenseman of all time, according to Hockey Fan?
SHL?
Yeah.
He really is. Eric Chisling that high?
No, not even Eric Chisling.
Casper's Tisling?
Nope, not Sizzling either. Nope.
Tig old bitties?
Big old bitties. Number 2 all time, apparently, according to Hockey Fan.
It's kind of sad that I can name your players like that, isn't it?
Yeah, I could not do the same for you, that's for sure. So I'll give you credit on that one. I was frankly shocked when I saw this. Expansion, thou art a female dog in regards to us current teams. I better get a Valkyries jersey as emotional compensation. I agree. Hif is going to go ahead and get you a Valkyries jersey.
Tell you what, we'll make it happen. I'll make that happen. If I take a player from Buffalo, that's it.
Thank you, Owen. I would not name my player that in this current world that we live in. So, nope, that's a old ace name for sure. What say you? Any other topics that we should cover before we go into the questions, Hif?
Yeah, no, I don't think we have any,
I think the only name of yours that I could probably throw out there is like Saku Paranin.
Yeah, my first player. There you go.
Yeah.
You don't have the vaguely racist French names down packed? You don't know
No.
Asti, Tabernacle, Fleur de Lis, La Poutine, La Troisième?
Oh, that's not vaguely racist. That's just very racist. Oh my god. Anyway, so sorry. Did you have any other
I don't
things?
have any other topics now. Just the playoffs.
Okay. My dog sounds like she's about to rip something apart upstairs. I need to step away. Can you
All
jump
right.
in and
Yeah.
drive it real quick? All right. Sorry,
Yeah,
guys.
absolutely. Hey, Slicer, how you doing? All of BV and Patrick's players are pretty impressive. And yes, Rich, I've had one or two players. But let me just open this question thread here while he's away. All right, we had our first question. It came from Chris. He said, "Wouldn't it be funny if I won the cup the year before I left in expansion?" And I think that'd be hilarious. You should do it because it'd be really funny. Just rig the sim that way. But you know, I'd like it. I'd enjoy it for sure. But I don't think it's. I have my doubts if it's in the card. There's some really strong teams. So we'll see there. But what are your thoughts on me winning the cup before leaving Edmonton?
Honestly, because I like you, I hope it happens.
It'd be pretty cool.
It'd be cool. It'd be neat.
Oh, are you a big Rangers fan, Ace?
Oh, giant original 6 hockey. Woo, Rangers. You know, Owen, I gotta ask you, Owen, what's your favorite NHL team?
He's a Ducks fan.
Oh, really? Why
Yeah.
are there so many Ducks
His
fans?
player's John Gibson. They all came from the same server together.
Well, I mean, that could easily be a Toronto fan because they've been clamoring to trade for Gibson for the last 10 years, I feel like. What I love is I was reading an article today, and this isn't SHL related, but like I was reading something that was from a Rangers fan, and they were talking about how they believe that the current state of the NHL isn't fair to states that have a state income tax. It's no secret that Florida, the Sunshine State, has had a team in there and no income tax and da da da. What can we do to make it fair? It's like
The
the
income
Rangers
tax
just
let
need
them
to get
trade for
good.
Bennett from Calgary and Huberto from Calgary, right?
Exactly.
It was the income tax that did that.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
Get
your
good.
shitty Canadian teams just had shit GMs and made bad decisions.
Uh,
As a
yeah.
Canadian team fan.
Honestly, though, I'm a happy man. When Toronto continues to fall apart and just shatter, like life is good for me. Even if the Bruins miss the playoffs, when I saw Toronto lose again, it made my heart full.
That was me with Ottawa in round one.
See, I want the. See, I've got some friends that are Sens fans.
If you've en masse, if you've ever dealt with Sens fans, they're the worst. Like legitimately the worst in the league. I'm not.
When the Habs are good, the Habs fans are the friggin' worst in the league.
Yeah, but that never happens anymore. What do you care?
I remember it. I still have PTSD from fucking mid 2000s, early 2010s. Not even early. Yeah, it was just mid 2000s.
They weren't even good then. They just eliminated your team in the playoffs.
Consistently eliminated.
Yes, but they weren't good.
Oh my god. Yes, Florida has the last 4 Eastern Conference champs. Yeah, you are correct. Which, honestly, just good roster construction. Bill Zito is doing a great job down there in Florida. Yeah, when I was 2, it was awful. Just so bad.
The fucking worst.
Oh man! Welcome to NHL Tonight.
All right, up to the next question.
Back to the questions.
We had Patrick coming in. It's your resident horrible question asked.
Oh yes.
How excited are you both about the expansion draft? Is it like you're waiting on Christmas, a kid waiting on Christmas, or more of an adult waiting on a work bonus?
I don't know if it's either of those.
Yeah,
I say Christmas or work bonus.
I think I'll be very excited if I know what the hell you're doing with pick 1, but you won't tell me anything.
Correct.
So I'm just like, it's trepidation at this point. Like, are you going to fuck up all my plans?
For sure. Well, what I mean, who are you trying to trade away? Who else? And maybe I'll tell you. Live? We're live here. Tell me your plans.
Personally, I'm trying to acquire the entire Baltimore roster in exchange for pick 1.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to slide eighth round picks with Baltimore.
Yeah, they won't have those anymore. That's part of the deal. We're just swapping everything.
I'm excited for it. Honestly, though, it's been like such a long time that I've just reached that like level of acceptance that it's gonna happen eventually, and it needs to happen because I don't have a fucking team, man. Like I'm in here. It's like that emote of like Millhouse playing with them, like throwing a
Throwing the
frisbee to
frisbee to
himself.
himself.
Yeah, I'm like, I mean, obviously I have Fresh, which is awesome, and the mystery person that we've already decided that is going to be one overall in the expansion draft is in our locker room as well. But like, I need more people, man. It is driving me nuts. I need a roster. I need to have all that stuff. It's taken forever, it feels like. And I'm very, very, I guess you could say that I'm very excited to actually have, assets and stuff and, other things to play with as a general manager. I heard Ace might be taking over Allison. No,
He
he's a
wishes.
scrub, washed. What a It's only so high Ace and I can count with the butt. That's right. We've watered the tree back and forth so many times.
We got a cat bot in Madison where you just catch different cats. I've got all the cats at
Interesting.
this point though.
Yeah, I'm not a cat guy.
Unbelievable.
Is it better? Is it better than the Pokemon bot?
That's about the same, honestly.
Yeah. You have a tree?
We don't have a tree now.
No tree?
I don't even know this, but trees don't grow in Madison.
That doesn't surprise me. It's
Yeah,
too
they
much
get cut
cheese.
down, and where there should be a tree, there's actually just a dairy cow.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think cheese grows from trees in Madison, right?
No, you're actually thinking of chocolate. It does grow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Did someone say tree, Rich?
Rich, I will put a tree in Madison if you can convince all of the SHL GMs to give up their protection slots and just have maximum chaos.
Yeah, put a stick in their mouth.
Yeah. I'll put a stick in the Madison logo too. Yeah, 100%.
Just right in the Pegasus's mouth or whatever. That would be.
I mean, I will say, I was talking to one
the
person.
Valkyrie.
I was talking to one person. I won't name them, but they were very. Their daughter loved the logo, but the original iteration had a horn on the Pegasus. They're like, "Where'd the unicorn go?" So he said, "Like, I'll come to Madison. I'm a free agent, but I need the horn to be on the unicorn, like on the Pegasus for my daughter." So I got
There's
someone
nothing
to.
I can do for you on that.
No, I got someone to Photoshop a horn on it for him.
Excellent, excellent. I love that. The Madison trees. one says, yeah, that's great. What about you? I mean, is there anything else you want to touch on regarding the upcoming expansion draft?
Just that I hope, because I don't know if we can, we'll manage to talk to everyone or have thorough conversations with everyone.
Yeah.
But I hope that if people could take an expansion, they walk in with an open mind and they're open to seeing the plan or communicate what they want with their GM in a respectful manner. Like if I prefer to be on a different team, because we're all here to have fun, and I think every team, if you go to them with an open mind and say, "Hey, this is what I'm looking for," they'll do their best to get you to have fun in whatever situation you want in the league itself.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of an interesting expansion draft too. I think like it's obviously better than maybe some in the past, but it's also like there's a lot of players that are deep in regression, and it's like, well, I don't expect to be contending anytime soon. So it's like you're expecting or hoping to maybe get a little bit more juice out of your career. Like we could maybe talk about putting you in a situation where you could get elevated playing time that maybe you couldn't get elsewhere, that type of stuff.
If you're looking for all-time points, and you get 22 minutes a night on the first line,
like a first line power play, baby. Like come and help us out here a little bit. So if you are exposed and you haven't talked to any expansion GMs yet and you want to, I've already heard from a bunch of people. I'm sure I'm speaking for, Hiff. I'm talking for Rashford. I'm talking for Seven.
I don't talk to any players. I'm just taking them. If you don't like it, deal with it.
Even the protected ones. They're all
100%.
We're gonna have a roster of
GMs. I'm taking
75 players, and we're gonna be cap compliant, baby.
I'm taking 83 prospects in the expansion draft. Somebody stop me.
Yeah. So reach out to expansion GMs, have a conversation. I'm sure that it may end up resulting in a good situation for you. So, but once again, that's only for the exposed players. So, all right. What else do we have for questions, Hiff?
Yeah. So Patrick had a two-parter here.
Okay.
Throughout the conversations with exposed players, have they been open to playing for the expansion teams, or have they been more hesitant?
I'll let you jump in that one first, and then I'll.
Yeah, I think it really depends on the player, but mostly they're open to the idea. Especially, you communicate to them, you have a plan. I think all of us generally have a history in the league of being able to do things that show we somewhat know what we're doing.
A
If you
little
ask
bit.
Luke, I'm the dumbest of the expansion GMs, and I've managed to win a cup, so
Mm.
that should bode well for all four of us. But so I think that having that reputation and the ability, like the showcased ability to prove you know what you're doing, somewhat helps in that regard. So people have generally been open to it, but some people, they just want to be on a contender. And if you're not going to be a contender, they just rather find a way to play for one instead.
Yeah, I think the middle tier of players that I've noticed, and I use that middle tier to refer to like those 1,200 to 1,400 TPE players that are kind of IA, like 30 to 40th in their draft class for earnings, those types of players. They're all like, I don't really care what happens. Like, I only go on the website maybe once or twice a week to do my activity check and maybe train if I have the money to do it. Like, I'm down for whatever. Like, so the vast majority of people that I've talked to are, at least like open to it or don't really care. But there are some people that are like legacy players that have been with the franchise for a long time that they're like, I understand why my general manager decided to expose me for like asset management purposes, but my preference is to play out the remainder of my career with that team. And I won't speak for other expansion GMs, like maybe others will be more, you were exposed, it's my right to take you than that. But like my mentality is, hey, like Hif said, we're all here to have a good time, right? Like, and I'm not going to be the guy that says, "Hey, I'm going to bring you in and piss you off," because candidly, I also don't want somebody that's pissed off in my locker room. Like, I want people that want to be a part of this, and that's definitely something that I'm respectful of, and I mean, I know those other guys to a good degree, and I think that they would be respectful of too. So, but overall, I would say probably like 90% of the people that I've talked to have been excited about the potential of being on an inaugural team.
Yeah, no, I think another thing is that like you don't want to really start your team's tenure with like having someone making a disturbance in your locker room and just not wanting to be there. It's just not a good look or something you want to start with. So like taking someone who doesn't want to be there isn't really the top of my pile personally.
Yeah, which I don't know why you took Egg. He doesn't want to be with you. So
He the day I told him I was stepping down from GM, he said, "I'm stepping down. I'm not applying for head GM, but if you ever GM again, you have to promise me I can be your co-GM." And I said, "All right, sure.
I
If that's what you want."
love that. I love that.
Next up, we had BV asking, "Do you have any mercy for stealing our players?"
No.
My thing is like, who do you want out of Buffalo anyway? I'm just kidding. Of course, there is somebody. I'm sure. I haven't checked. It's Buffalo. Surely there's somebody, right?
Fanto?
Oh, okay. Never mind. Fanto, the greatest player of our generation.
Mm,
I think he's going to win multiple Mexicos, like starting
mm,
next season. If I'm being honest, very primed to be an elite player.
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, no, I don't feel bad at all.
Mm-mm.
Because mostly because I've dealt with all of these GMs and trade talks before, and I have no sympathy for them anymore. Fuck all of you. No, I'm just kidding.
Mm.
They're great people,
Are
mostly.
they? Some of them.
Mostly.
Some of them. A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slicer asked, who has the coolest 2K TV card and why is it Alexandros Mograine? I
I'm not a big like trading card guy. Are you a
Me
big into the
either.
trading
I
cards?
I I specifically went back to get the retro card because they had the Saku Perhonen
It is a
Vancouver
great
Nightmare.
retro card.
Oh, it's Saku Koivu with like, it's so
Is
good.
there an Eric? I don't think there's an Eric Chisling one.
I don't know. All I know
There
is my
should be.
player was the template that they started basing the retro cards off of. They were like, this is the idea. We're using this card, and then they went from there. And my card's fantastic. I love it so much.
Jokes aside, genuinely, I do hope with Fanto he's going to get that spark with the expansion. He busted his butt for us, and I hope he's able to get a good LR. I mean,
Phantom's a good guy.
big TBD on all the LRs. We don't have one yet, so it's hard to know what our LR
You
is going to
you
be
said
like.
you had 3 people in your LR right now.
Yeah, you have three
Don't lie
people.
to me.
It's
You know how many
riveting.
I
What
have?
about you? How many people are in your Discord right now?
Not in my Discord, but I'm about to
Oh,
have 4. So take that.
wow. Wow. Is that person that you acquired? Which news alert? There's a trade coming. No leaks. No leaks on details. But is that person actually active on Discord?
Yep,
Interesting.
both of them are.
Interesting. Ooh, I didn't know there was another one. Wow. Now I gotta look at that.
It's not a trade. Anyways, but in terms of 2K TB cards, I think Alexandros Mograine. I'm not a big World of Warcraft guy, so Ace might like the card more.
Mm.
But yeah, it's a pretty cool card. I like the he's got like Thunder Eyes or something. I don't know who the World of Warcraft character is. Is he like is he related to Arthas at all? I don't
He
know.
becomes the Lich King after Arthas of Menethil.
Oh, but Arthas was the dopest Lich King. Why would we care about this guy?
He's still pretty cool though. He
I
had
feel like if you're going to Lich King, you just name yourself Arthas and you're chilling.
yeah. So he is also known as
Oh,
the
not the Lich King.
Ashbringer.
You're the worst. You're the worst. Alaris correcting you. Alaris, explain this lore to me, please.
Alexandros Morgraine becomes the Lich King, does he not?
The wielder of Ashbringer. See, unbelievable. How do you not know this?
I thought he became. Who is it that becomes? God
The
damn it.
anti-Lich King. All right, so for Alaris, we have to do this. Yeah, don't you know Bolhar is the Lich King? Come on.
That's right.
All I know is Illidan is the dopest World of Warcraft character.
Oh, he goes with the Maldraxi. That's
Or
right.
Sylvanas. Sylvanas is also
Okay.
pretty sick.
And he was part of the Four Horsemen. Got it. And Scourge. Okay. I'm sorry. All right. I do have Arthas Menethil tattooed on my leg, though. I got that going for me. And the Lordaeron sigil on my kneecap. Yeah.
But how do you not know this? This is your thing. This is
unbelievable. I got to brush up on my WoW lore again, apparently. I always get all the whole Death Knight things. There's like a million of them. I get them all.
Well, yeah, it's a class, so of course there's like a bunch. You could just.
It's not even vanilla though. I play classic, man. All right. So
what's classic?
WoW classic.
Wow.
OG vanilla. Wow.
All right. Next up,
questions.
we had 01 asking the expansion draft is coming up. There will be a large set of prospects. I imagine the 4 GMs will be looking at. We're going to ignore that part of the question because neither Ace or I are going to give up our who we're looking at in terms of strategy.
Correct.
That's just a little silly. So we're just going to focus on the second part. Which team's prospect pool has stood out the furthest to you or looks the best? So we're just going to give a brief rundown of certain teams we think have really strong prospect pools.
I'll start off, and I'm going to go ahead and give a nod toward the Texas Renegades because I really like the work that they did in the previous draft, where they went out there and they were able to grab some really top end players. They got Patrick Rail, who obviously we've already talked about him. They were able to get, who else did they get from that class? They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 prospects from that draft in season 82. Toaster, another like really top end user, another member of the SMJHL Tonight. Once again, guys, if you want to be referred to as a good user on our show, create a podcast, join a podcast, and we'll say nice things about you. You look at
Toaster is a member of the 208 St. Louis Scarecrows crew. There's been like 4 in a row or something that have come from St. Louis at this point.
Yeah, and Rain Delay is earning really, really well for that class as well. He's actually ahead of Toaster. And then just after, they also have Blue Dog 25123.
I think that's one of Patrick's friends, if I recall.
Wouldn't surprise me whatsoever.
There's a podcast with him, I think.
Yeah. So Texas is probably one of the teams that I really, really like their prospect pool. I'll throw it over to you to pick one.
The team I would say was Baltimore, but because of the Baltimore co-GM I'm going to say the Hamilton Steelhawks. They have coming up this year Kim Chae-won. These are James, who everyone knows and loves from the SHL Discord, known purveyor of cozies and K-pop idols. They also have a prospect I really like, RLG, Ryan Dino Nuggets Hopkins. I think he's a really good person to have in the locker room. He's going to earn really well. Very friendly guy. He's a Toronto Maple Leaf fan, so you always have someone to make fun of in the locker room, which is always good to have. You always need that. If anyone watches Community, you always need the Britta or the Pierce to make fun of for the group. So I think Hamilton. They also just have a lot of depth and quantity. Just so many prospects in terms of aggregate picks. So I think they're going to end up very good. They're in a good spot with expansion coming up as well. And I think they're in good hands with Alex and it's Hedda, right?
Yeah, Hedach or whatever.
The guy who says
I still can't pronounce
I want to blow my brains out.
Owen says, unfortunately, they're not going to be trading at this time just for that.
Luckily, you're a co-GM, which means you're not a full person.
You don't even count. You're irrelevant, basically. So by the time we return, are there any more questions?
I do want to also shout out Baltimore's prospect pool. It is very good. They've got some
Good prospect pool. A lot of them.
excellent
I was shocked
prospects.
when I clicked prospects, and I almost had to click number 2 to go to the second page.
Yeah, they just got so much in terms of quantity and some great quality there. Caldfani, specifically one of my favorite prospects of that 81 class. Great haul for Baltimore there, and just some wonderful users all around. Anywhere sounds nice. I forget after that.
I do have to shout out Fresh for the beautiful Twitch avatar.
Incredible. Did you guys not do some expansion GM planning this weekend?
We did. Yes, we actually did. It was on Tuesday or something. We went down and we had a expansion GM summit where we met in person for the first time. We actually had a wonderful photo taken. I'm going to share the photo. So hold on.
Did you ask Fresh if you could dox his ass live?
Oh yeah, I'm doxing Fresh right now, and it's not just us two. We also had some other all stars join us. So let me go ahead and share my screen. There we have us. We have me on the left. Obviously, you guys can see my beautiful face. And I had a little chipotle mayo or whatever from my sauce there on the shirt. We have Spurb, that's Burbine. We have Nike from the Chicago Syndicate, and then we have Fresh over there on the far side. So
in the OV
really
jersey,
cool.
love it.
And the classic Ovechkin sweater, just top tier stuff here. So that was a lot of fun. I always have a really good time meeting people from the SHL. I've had the fortunate opportunity to do that a few times now. I will say though, not a very lively crew in regards to the drinking. I was literally like Eric Thorogood, something. The "I Drink Alone" song. I'm the only one sitting there with a group of like 6 people drinking. So that was a lot of fun. So
you might know that as alcoholism.
Correct. I inherited it. Yeah. So, but it was awesome meeting Fresh and his wife, and then hanging out with Nike. Who, if you didn't know, Nike and I are also Boston Bruins season ticket holders now again. So we're going to have on that. So that was cool.
So you're both depressed?
Yeah, we're both. I mean, we're alcoholics. I'll drink to that. And then obviously catching up with Burb and his wife again too was a lot of fun. So,
none of them were exposed.
None of them. No.
One's a GM and the other's Burb, who was never.
And one that I GM'd for like literally like 5 years. So we're all friends. Yeah. So.
What was tampering was the messages he sent after.
Correct. Yeah. If you ever can see those messages, yeah, you would just be able to roast me for sure. Yep, it's tampering, definitely. Go ahead and file a complaint to your local HO union representative, and we'll see where that goes. But yeah, I don't have anything else. So our episode next week, this has been a little bit of a shorter one. Next week's episode, we're going to be able to go over we're going to schedule it post expansion draft.
Probably Sunday night then, or Monday?
Sunday night, maybe Monday night again. It's probably going to be maybe another Monday night show, which is fine. So we'll do a post expansion draft. We'll take a look at the rosters, take a look at the draft capital, because there's a lot of first round picks that are being exposed. So it'll be interesting to see some of the teams that are prioritizing futures rather than current roster players. And it'll also be kind of interesting to see some of the hustling and bustling and some of the gymnastics some of the GMs will do with moving picks that they made back to other teams or
I don't
whatever.
know. Do any of the expansion GMs even like trading anyway, though? Like, let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, we all hate trades.
Yeah.
I honestly know. I want to know, is there a record somewhere of people with the most trades made? Because I feel like we have to be up there.
I don't know if I've had enough seasons to be up there compared to like the Halseys or the Tomans. But I feel like you would definitely be up there.
I feel like I'm up there.
Yeah, you'd be up there. If we went per season, I would be up there for sure.
Yeah, I do believe that we will have the fortunate ability of having the expansion draft live.
I believe Patrick and Toaster
are going to be hosting that show, which is going to
it'll be lower quality, but it'll still be live.
Yeah, a little less handsome hosts,
Yeah.
but well, it's gonna be good. I mean, they were handpicked. I mean, I'll say Patrick was handpicked by me, so he found Toaster. I can't claim any affiliation with that one, but yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Looking forward to having a team, and then at the next weekend after, we don't have the time finalized, but then we're gonna have the SHL draft to talk about. So,
Lots
as
of great
always,
stuff coming up, and the champs, whoever the champs of the
yes,
SHL and SMJHL are.
yep, we'll have the SHL champion on because now we're going to defer to SMJHL tonight for them to host the J champ.
If they choose to, we can't speak for
I
them.
mean, I don't impose. It's Patrick's show. Although I can't impose because
We
I'm on
can
the
fire
podcast.
him, but we
No,
won't tell him what to do.
I won't do it today or tomorrow, but next week, different story. Who knows what that looks like. But yeah, we'll have a lot to go over. If there's anything you guys ever want to have touched on, once again, a kind, polite reminder to go into the podcast question thread and submit your questions for us to answer. Top 10 for what? Oh, one.
Trades per season, I guess, or trades season.
Oh, that would make sense. That would make sense.
Considering he's trading his whole roster, he might get there.
You'll do it tonight. What, trade your whole roster?
Get it? SHL tonight.
Tonight.
He's on to something.
There we go. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week's episode. As always, we appreciate your listenership and tuning in. And we will catch it probably, like we said, maybe next Monday or so. So see you in a week. We'll catch you next time. Bye.